Hello guys, welcome back to another video on Unity tutorials, and in this video I'm gonna start a new series on how to create a Nokia Skyscraper game. So when we press space, a house drops, we have to build a skyscraper, and we will have a start menu, a finish scene also. So I'm just gonna demonstrate what we will be doing in this video. Of course, the house is going to follow. We're going to change some stuff. So when you press space, house falls and all of the colors change. So I'm going to try a different style of this video, where I am just gonna you will see. First of all, we don't want to have the robot controller, and the robot controller will be here. Is that component? Robot controller. Okay, so first of all, we're just gonna start here. We want to, I already have some prefabs, a Unity package imported. So what we want to have is a platform where the houses will fall. We want to have a manipulator which will control the houses, and we want a house that will fall. As simple as that. So let's begin with the platform. The platform should have a box collider 2D to make sure that it's a hard thing like my table, so things can stand in it. But we do not want to add a rigid body, as we do not want this to fall. So now let's go to our home. For the home, we also want to have a box collider 2D, and we want a rigid body 2D. So you may ask, how will we make the house always follow the manipulator without it falling? And when we press space, we want it to fall. Well, easy. We're just going to use the simulator. Simulated true means that gravity and all other physics apply to the body that, to the material, we'll just say to the object that has the rigid body. However, when we turn off simulated, the body now has been taken out of the simulation along with any attached colliders, joints, or effectors. So I believe, I believe that it won't be affected with anything that collides with it, but for sure, gravity won't apply to it, so it won't fall. So it will always follow the manipulator, but when we press space, we want simulator to be turned on, and it will fall down. Okay, so now that we have the basic setup, I'm just gonna delete this stuff and the manipulator. So let's leave the platform. We do not need the home, but make sure to hit apply on the prefab. It's for me it's override apply all. Make sure that you hit them. Okay, so I actually made an empty game object that contains the manipulator. So the robot is here, and the manipulator is an empty game object. And on that empty game object, we want to add the robot controller. So let's just double click it to open this up in Visual Studio, and then we'll just cut off the waiting part. So I'll see you guys there. Okay, so now that the script has loaded, I would just like to walk through it and tell you what each thing does. So first of all, we want to leave the normal using tags. So with the collections are generic, and of course the using Unity engine part. And then we want to create a vector3 start position. Vector3 is the transform, and the position. So that's why we have named it start position. Then we want to create a private game object home to spawn. But you may ask me, why is it private? How will we be able to say what is the home to spawn is? Well, Simple. We use the serialized field. Serialized field sounds complicated, but it isn't. It just makes the private variable or whatever it is editable in the inspector. Simple as that. Then we create a float delta and we say it is 1.5. So you may ask, for what will we need this? Well, this is just going to be how far from the left and right can the manipulator move. Then we create a public float speed, so we could just see it. So of course this speed, and we create a vector3 new position. Okay, so in the void start we want our start position to be our position where our manipulator is, and our new position to have the same variables as the start position. So now in the void update, this line of code should be feared the most, but do not worry, I'm gonna take you through it. So new position dot x. What does this mean? We are going to be using the x-axis of the vector3. The x-axis is the left, right, right, left. And then we say we want to times this by our by how far we can move. We want to times this by mathf.sin. What the hell is that? Let's explain. So sin. So first of all, we are going to be using mathf, which is probably like mathematics. I don't know. I just know you have to use it. Probably it's like you're using using Unity engine, but now it's using mathematics. So now sin. What is this? Well, imagine a graph with 1 here and -1 here, and we have a line straight in the middle. It's like saying that here we have 1, here we have -1, and here is the middle. I know I just got a bunch of errors, but we'll change that. So the middle, and we now have a wave that will be going up. So the cursor at the highest point is going to be 1, and then it's going to go down. So it's going to be -1, and it is always going to be changing like this. So we have a smooth transition, and we won't need to be making any animations. Cool, right? And of course you have to do it in the void update to make sure that the manipulator will always move. And then we're going to times the time by our speed. Then of course we have to set our transform.position. So our new position is going to be the position that we are currently at. And then we just want to check if our transform.child count is less than 2. So we always want to have a home in the middle. So we are going to instantiate home to spawn by the transform of the manipulator. So yeah, with those things we can set up. And Visual Studio doesn't want to respond. So with this simple piece of code, we have the manipulator moving, which is what we need. Oh my god, it's gonna crash right now. Okay, so now let's just go to our home. How will we control the home? You may ask me. Well, I'm gonna say simple. Of course, it's not this one, it's in the assets prefabs. Let me just let it be like this. We have a house controller. Let's open the script up. The house controller, of course, we are going to be using the systems and the Unity engine. And then in that void start, we want to write get component rigid body 2D. You may ask, why don't we store it in a variable like private rigid body 2D RB? And we said that RB is equal to all of this. Well, you may say this, but we will need to change the value of simulated to false, from false to true, from true to false. So then we're just gonna write this. Get component rigid body 2D is we are getting the rigid body 2D from the object that the script is sitting on. We want to get the simulator and set this to false. Then we want to write get component renderer, but you don't have to write this because you don't have to write this because this is just going to change the color of our house every time we press space. You may not want to do that, but I think it will make the game more attractable. So I'll write this. Get component renderer, we get the renderer, and then we set the material.color to a random of the color HSV. You may wonder what is color HSV. I'm going to demonstrate this to you. So this is just the hexadecimal color that will randomly change every time we press space. So you see it always changes like this. So yeah, it will always change its value, so we get a nice house. So now in the void update we want to check if we have pressed space. We want to get the component rigid body 2D and set simulated to true, so gravity applies to the body that has the rigid body 2D. Then, since the house is our parent of the manipulator, as we have set this here, we want to instantiate it, and it has to be a child. If we press space, we want the transform set parent because and we want it to be null, so nothing. So it's just like saying the robot is the child of the manipulator, and the manipulator is the parent of the robot. But now the robot is not a child, and the manipulator now is not a parent. So this is the same as we do here, setting the house not a child. Then we want to change the color, so we want to get the component renderer and the sorting order, how it says renderers order within a sorting layer, and we want to minus equals 1 like this. So with all of this script, we should now have some kind of working game. So now if we go to the manipulator and we have go to the prefabs and we drag in our home and we hit play. By pressing space we have a home falling. And look at this, how we have this, we'll say bluish, grayish, greenish house. Then when it falls, a new one appears right above it, which makes this some kind of smooth transition. Okay, so now what we want to do is say, just to have this episode do something, let's just create a new box collider 2D, and let's just stretch this out, and do not see this at the collider. I'm scaling both sides by pressing Alt. So now, if a house falls in this area, mark it as an S trigger. We want to, for the purpose for keeping this video short, I want to have a debug log message saying that our player lost. So let's add a script. I already have a player lost script, but I do not remember what I've written as my computer crashed and I'm recording this video the second time. Yeah, So now we have the private void on collider enter. I think that's the on collider enter. Yeah. And we have a collider 2D called the collider. And we want to debug the thought that our player lost. I hope my computer doesn't crash the second time. But let's see. Oh, it didn't. So now if you just press a bunch of times and something goes into here, we should see that we do not get any debug.log messages. Weird. Okay. So, give me some time. I'll try to solve this error. Let's see, guys. Solve the problem. As you see, I get the message. So now, here's the script. So I changed it so when we exit the collider, so private void on trigger exit to the collider to the collision. So when we exit the collider, we get the message you lost. And when we play the game, we will get the message you lose. As you see, like this purple home fell and you got you lost. So yeah, this was enough for the first video, but before you exit and watch a different YouTube video, I would just like to say that I have an important message waiting. Well, not important for me, maybe irrelevant for you, but you could go to the video's description and this will help me out a lot. It's not a Patreon page, but this will help me out a lot. So yeah, thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video. Bye!